7:35 right now. Subway commuters have an extra layer of security on board the trains now that the NYPD has begun overnight patrols.
And the MTA facing a $33 billion funding gap. They're hoping Albany will help them fill that. MTA Deputy Chief of Service Diversions and Coordination, Jose LaSalle, is here to update us on where the budget stands and talk about a whole host of things. Good to see you again for our Transit Talk stop segment.
Likewise, good morning.
Overnight patrols, right? So this is a big topic of conversation, and the numbers are 100 officers on the trains right now on a few of the lines. We heard that from the mayor and his team earlier this week. The question is, when are we going to get the full number on all of the lines? When is that expected?
I'm not too sure. What I heard was 300 police officers on approximately 147 trains.
That's total?
Total.
When?
It's going to be played out over the next few months. What I see is, excuse me, police presence when I do ride the trains on the overnight. I was at Far Rockaway, so I'm seeing it a lot more on the weekend as well. Riding the trains, which is good to see. I mean, constantly when we go to the surveys that our customers provide, they're asking for more police presence to get some of the recidivists off the trains, and we see that presence. But as far as the rollout, I understood it was between 300 and approximately 147 trains that run during that, those hours.
9 to 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just for clarification for riders, is this just a temporary Band-Aid, or will this be permanent?
I believe the governor stated this was going to be, she was clear. I believe she said 6 months. So I think at this point, that's what she's looking at. But I think with the progress we're going to see, getting some of these recidivists off the train, that might be, I don't want to say that she's going to extend it, but I would think that they'll have to look at that. But let's see the other strategies that they've put in place on the ground, right? We have 25,000 cameras on subway trains. I think you guys had a story about some hoodlums on the train that were apprehended as a result of those subway cameras. So the strategies that we're putting in place, as well as the police presence, are going to be beneficial to our New Yorkers.
That story earlier, talking about the group of kids who had
like
various sticks and things. Okay.
So that was good to see.
Let's talk about money overall, because this is a big topic of conversation where congestion pricing kind of comes into effect, right? Governor Kathy Hochul unveiling her new budget, but what was missing was funding for the MTA. So where does the MTA budget stand? Because there is a bit of a gap that needs to be filled.
So, it went, after the board approved it, it went up to the legislature. They looked at it, and I think they vetoed it, and now it's being looked at again. So I think our team, the chairman, is going to work with the legislator up in Albany, and they're going to come to, they're going to look at it and come back to the board to look to, after they piece together what they have to piece together, and approve it on their end. But at this point, I think it was vetoed by the state, I think it was the state, the Assembly Speaker and the state majority leader, and they're going to come back, we're going to come back, look at it, and bring it back to the board for another revote.
How much does fare evasion eat into your budget? And you just installed these spikes.
Right.
Are you going to expand to more stations?
So we're looking at everything to harden the subway environment. So I know these engineering designs that they put in place there are just one mode of us trying to prevent fare evasion, right? We want to make sure we have fare compliance in the system. So that's something that we're looking at. I don't have the hard numbers on what, what fare evasion looks like, but I would have to say it's millions of dollars of revenue that we're losing. So we're looking for fair compliance by, trying anything that we can to stop that.
Are those working?
I would say that, as I can't physically get up on that. So, but somebody, some ingenuity to try to figure something out. So we're going to look at everything.
Well, you saw the videos, right? You saw the videos on social media that are showing people saying these are pointless. So you may not be able to, I may not be able to, but folks are just putting their hands on them and jumping right over it. So you saw the videos. So when you look at those videos, was this a trial and it just didn't work?
I think that it was a trial because we're looking for other systems. We're looking at the wide access gates. We're looking at, full body gates to go through. So we're looking at anything that we can do to harden the system to make sure that we do have fair compliance among all customers. Because we are losing it. Not are we losing, but all New Yorkers are losing. That New Yorker that buys a Metro card or that buys a Omni card, they're losing out as well.
What about on the buses?
On the buses, we have those those Eagle teams that are deployed to various locations. As a matter of fact, I saw them pulling up to a station up in on First Avenue, and they go out and they check for your ticket to make sure that you've paid your fare to get on the bus.
Okay, so keep us posted on that, because I think since the fare evasion costs $1 million, I think that's what people are zeroing in on, saying a lot could be avoided if fare evasion was got under control. I want to ask you real quick about the bus that was hanging off the overpass last week in the Bronx, right? And the whole thing that kind of played out with 2 bus drivers and who was driving the bus at what time. So what's the latest?
So NYPD and the Office of System Safety are looking into this incident. You know, the great thing is nobody was hurt on the bus nor on the street. When I looked at the photos after the fact, all that debris that fell to the road was, you know, so thank God nobody got hurt. This is a turn that's made all the time. This was happening about 5 or 6 days ago. We're still utilizing that road. There's no plans on changing the route. So we continue on in that way. We're just looking to see what happened with this particular bus.
No plans to eliminate those parking spots that you know of?
That would have to come up with the DOT.
Okay. Jose LaSalle, thanks again for your time.
All right, thank you for having me.